In a quiet little town, a young boy named Tom is obsessed with his favorite TV show starring the mighty Kaleidoscope Man, an alien-fighting superhero who saves Earth from total destruction. Every day, Tom pretends he is Kaleidoscope Man, proudly wearing a shiny sticker just like his hero and battling imaginary aliens with his brother Freddy and their friends. Their playground turns into a battlefield of epic missions and daring rescues. After one wild pretend adventure, Tom and Freddy race back to their dad, Mr. Dunn, who runs the local car repair shop. Excitedly, they spill the details of their planet-saving heroics. With a smile, Mr. Dunn gives Tom his special hand bracelet and warns him, "Don't lose it. Years have flown by." And now Tom lives with his wife Mandy in a calm, cozy home. He's jolted awake by the blaring news on the TV. Meanwhile, Mandy stands silently in the bathroom, staring at a pregnancy test with wide, unblinking eyes. Downstairs, Tom moves on autopilot, brewing his usual coffee, unaware of the life-changing moment just steps away. He heads back up and knocks lightly on the bathroom door. "Mandy, I'm running late. I've got that big board meeting at 9 o'clock, he calls out in a rush. Mandy opens the door and studies his face. "Why are you always so stressed?" she asks softly, taking the mug from his hands. "You're the best doctor they've got," she adds, trying to calm the storm behind his eyes. Later that morning, Mandy reminds Tom to go through the boxes stacked neatly outside each room and warns him not to toss out anything important. She suggests he call Freddy for help, but Tom shakes his head firmly. "We haven't talked in years," he mutters, tension creeping into his voice. Mandy doesn't push. She quietly heads downstairs, leaving him alone with the past. Tom opens the top box and freezes. It's the bracelet his father gave him all those years ago. He slips it onto his wrist slowly, as if drawn by something unexplainable. Then takes a deep breath and starts getting dressed for work. Downstairs, the TV blares out grim headlines, countries on the brink of war, chaos spilling across continents. Mandy watches quietly, her face clouded with worry. Tom walks in, straightening his shirt, and Mandy turns to him with a small smile. As she carefully ties his tie, she whispers, "The world could really use some hope right now." Tom catches the look in her eyes. "Are you okay?" he asks gently. Mandy doesn't speak. She simply holds out the pregnancy test. Tom stares in disbelief, then wraps her in a tight emotional hug. It's finally real. They're having another baby. Just then, Tom's eyes land on a photo across the room, the one of them with their late daughter, Rebecca. The emotions swell as they both tear up, clinging to the hope that this is a brand new beginning. With a kiss and a rushed goodbye, Tom heads out the door, heart pounding, future Mandy soon arrives at the cheerful little primary school where she teaches alongside her close friend Jenny. As they catch up before class, Mandy's face lights up. She whispers the big news, and Jenny gasps with excitement. After a warm hug and a shared laugh, Mandy walks down the hallway to her classroom, heart fluttering with emotion. Inside, she gathers her students and begins today's lesson. The story of Noah and the Ark. With calm energy, she explains how the tale is all about second chances. God's gift of starting again when all seems lost. Just before heading to work, Tom makes a quiet stop at Rebecca's grave, the final resting place of their beloved daughter. His heart aches as he stands there, lost in memory, when suddenly Father Robert walks up from behind. Tom, with a soft, shaky voice, shares the news. "We're expecting another baby." Father Robert's face lights up. "That's a blessing. Keep your faith strong," he says kindly. Feeling hopeful, Tom pulls out his phone to call Mandy, eager to celebrate, but it rings straight to voicemail. He leaves a message full of love, asking her to meet up later to share the moment, but as he talks, a deep, unnatural rumble echoes behind him. He turns around. The sky has turned pitch black. Thunder splits the silence, and out of nowhere, a terrifying explosion rips through the city like fire through paper, destroying everything in sight. Across town, Mandy and her students watch in frozen horror as a similar blast barrels toward their classroom. Tom stares ahead, powerless, sensing the end is near. Suddenly, snap! Tom jolts as if waking from a nightmare. The sky is blue again. Everything seems normal, almost too normal. He blinks, trying to make sense of what just happened. Was it all in his head? But then others start talking about it too. His heart pounds, but he forces himself to stay calm as he heads to work at Livermore Care Center, where he treats psychiatric patients. Claire, the always hurried secretary, greets him at the front desk. "The guests are already waiting upstairs," she calls. Tom nods quickly and rushes past the hallways, offering short but sincere greetings to his regular patients, even as Claire urges him to move faster. Then he enters a quiet room where Sam, one of his patients, is painting alone. He stops cold. Her painting. It's almost identical to the terrifying vision he saw earlier. "The angels wanted me to see it," Sam says softly, not looking up. Alarmed, Tom gently takes her forearm to examine it, searching for any sign of drug use. Sam meets his gaze calmly and says, "I'm clean." Later that day, Tom walks into a tense meeting with his boss, who's made up his mind to shut down the entire institution. Tom pleads with him, desperate to explain how vital their work is for the patients, for the community, for everyone. But the boss refuses to budge. Without a second glance, he walks away, leaving Tom stunned and furious. Moments later, Tom gets a voicemail from Mandy, her voice warm, urging him to come meet her soon. As he heads back to check on his patients, the TV in the common area is blaring. The news anchor's voice is shaky. People all over the world, politicians, doctors, even bus drivers, are reporting the same thing. A strange, terrifying vision. Diplomats are calling it the vision of the apocalypse. The room falls silent. Meanwhile, at the school, Mandy flips through her students' drawings, only to pause in shock. Some kids have sketched fiery buildings, screaming people, and skies full of smoke. Her heart races. Then, Jenny bursts into the room, eyes wide with panic. "Mandy, there's a giant spaceship in the sky." As Tom fumbles to call Mandy, her phone lies forgotten on her desk. She's already bolting outside, eyes locked on the colossal spaceship looming above. At that exact moment, a shrill fire alarm screams through the air at Tom's workplace. He rushes into action, guiding terrified patients toward the exits as panic spreads like wildfire. Then, through the rising smoke and confusion, they see it. A massive spacecraft, cloaked in the clouds, its shape too enormous to comprehend. Suddenly, a smaller ship breaks away from it and swoops down toward them, and opens fire without warning. People scream, chaos erupts. Tom urges everyone down the stairs, but it's too late. A blinding beam begins pulling people up into the sky, snatching them away one by one. They vanish into the light. Tom barely escapes until he sees his patients being loaded into an eerie, tomb-like structure beneath the alien ship. Heart pounding, he makes a split-second choice and runs straight toward them. Instantly, he's taken too. From above, Tom watches the Earth grow smaller as they're pulled into a much larger vessel, hovering beyond the planet's atmosphere. A radiant beam opens from its belly, pulling them deeper into the unknown. As the light engulfs him, Tom's head spins, and then darkness. Tom jolts awake in a strange bed, his heart racing, breath shallow. The phone on the nightstand rings sharply, breaking the eerie silence. He hesitates, then picks it up. A chilling voice on the other end greets him. "Welcome back, Ambassador. Someone's here to see you." Confused but alert, Tom quickly throws on his clothes and follows unsettling noises echoing from downstairs. As he reaches the lower floor, a horrifying scene unfolds. Harriet is screaming, desperately struggling to escape Floyd's grip. Before Tom can react, Floyd raises a gun and shoots her straight in the chest. Tom rushes to her side, but Floyd turns the weapon toward him with a cold glare. Just then, bang! Sam bursts in and fires at Floyd. But Floyd is quicker. He shoots her down too. Tom is trembling, begging Floyd to stop, but Floyd steps forward, raising the gun to Tom's neck. And then, everything shifts. In an instant, Tom is swept into another, overwhelming vision. Beams of light engulf him, the world flickers out, and he collapses into unconsciousness once more. Tom jolts awake again, this time strapped into a hazmat suit with a heavy mask pressing against his face. Disoriented, he hears Floyd shouting, "Get up now!" Tom scrambles to his feet, eyes darting wildly. "Where are we?" he shouts. His breath catches as he looks around. They're inside a cinema complex, but it's abandoned and hauntingly still. Suddenly, Harriet's scream slices through the silence. "They're coming!" she shrieks. Out of nowhere, a swarm of zombies attacks. Floyd barely gets a shot off before they devour him alive. Tom watches in horror as Floyd transforms into one of them. The creatures charge at Tom. He sprints toward Harriet, just as the glass door slams shut behind him. They're safe for a second, until Sam bursts in, breathless. "Take the antidote, fast!" The city's been gassed. "Everyone's turning," he cries. But before they can react, the door crashes open. Zombies drag Harriet away. Tom jerks awake, only to find himself gripping a knife, its blade aimed straight at Sam. Confusion clouds his face as Harriet screams, "Leave my daughter alone!" Before he can even process it, Floyd storms in, gun raised. "Drop it, Tom!" he commands. Shaken, Tom lets the knife fall. But Sam doesn't hesitate. She grabs a glass bottle and smashes it across his head, sending him crashing to the floor. Darkness swallows everything. When Tom opens his eyes again, he's strapped to a table, completely exposed, every limb restrained. Panic sets in. Above him stands Harriet, cold and furious, gripping a pair of giant scissors in her hand. "You deserve this," she says, eyes gleaming with rage. Tom screams, pleading for forgiveness, his voice echoing through the room. And just like that, everything vanishes. He wakes up again, gasping, drenched in sweat, trapped between layers of nightmare and reality. Tom regains consciousness, surrounded by blinding lights, flames licking the air and strange branch-like structures inside the massive spaceship, which is tearing itself apart. Explosions blast toward the small vessel carrying him, and suddenly, whoosh, his pod ejects, hurtling through space before crashing into a vast alien ocean. Struggling against the waves, Tom swims for his life as fiery debris rains down from the sky. Gasping and soaked, he reaches the shore, alone. Or so he thinks. In the distance, through the smoke and chaos, he spots three figures: Sam, Floyd, and Harriet. They stand silently, gazing at volcanic lava bursting from the ground, surrounded by fire and destruction. As they reunite, each of them realizes something staggering. They've all lived through the same mind-bending, surreal events, and no one knows what's real or imagined. Floyd stares blankly at the sky. "I feel different," he says, "like I'm finally sane." Before they can process it, the massive spaceship crashes into the ocean behind them with a thunderous roar. The group takes off, dodging debris and eruptions, but they make a decision. They must reach the wreckage to uncover the truth. Suddenly, a smaller ship swoops in to attack. Tom grabs a stone, winds up and hurls it straight into the ship's core. Boom! It explodes in mid-air. A true David versus Goliath moment. Stunned but determined, the group presses onward. Into the unknown. As they trek onward, Sam suddenly asks, "Do you remember the cinema complex?" Her voice is soft, almost distant. She explains it was the place where she'd binge horror movies and pop pills until things spiraled out of control and she got kicked out. That's when she met Mrs. Clare, Shockingly, she reveals that the so-called antidote she tried to give them, it was actually the same drug she used to take. But now, Sam insists she's finally cured. No cravings, no chaos, just clarity. Tom stares at her, stunned. Floyd seems better too. No signs of his usual episodes. How is this even possible? Nobody's injured, nobody's breaking down. Then Harriet opens up. She shares a trauma she's never voiced before. As a child, her father had returned from prison, desperate and broken. He begged her to unlock the front door, and when she did, he stormed in and attacked her mother in front of her eyes. Since that moment, she's never trusted men. Never. That's why, she says quietly, they all saw that dark kitchen scene where she almost hurt Tom. As they walk deeper into the unknown, Sam turns to Tom and asks, "What demon did you face back there?" He freezes, avoids eye contact, says nothing, but they keep pushing, waiting for his truth. Finally, he breaks the silence. "You don't just get cured overnight. Floyd's schizophrenic. Harriet's got narcissistic personality disorder. Sam, you've been manic-depressive for years. I've treated all of you." His voice cracks. "I just want you to go home." Tom edges toward the cliff, staring down at the churning water below. He's seconds away from climbing down, ready to vanish from this madness, when something pulls at his heart. He can't leave them behind. But when he turns back, it's too late. The smaller ship has already taken them. A low rumble shakes the air as another vessel approaches. Without hesitation, Tom leaps onto its top, gripping tightly as it roars toward the massive spaceship. Suddenly alarms blare. Another ship's locked onto him. It opens fire, ripping through the sky. Tom scrambles along the surface and finds a mounted weapon. Without thinking, he takes aim and blasts the enemy ship out of the air. Smoke trails behind as it crashes in the distance. Now inside the larger ship, Tom spots the others, unconscious, trapped behind strange sealed doors. One by one, he opens them. "I'm so sorry," he murmurs, handing each of them a weapon. "No more running." They band together and head deeper into the alien vessel, determined to find the control system. Their only shot at getting home. Suddenly, Tom slips from a branch inside the ship, and everything fades as he tumbles into another vision. This time, he's a child again, lost in the warmth of his imagination, playing superhero and believing he could conquer anything. The memory sharpens. The day his father gave him the bracelet. In the garage, Mr. Dunn was under a car, working as always, until it suddenly collapsed on top of him. His terrified cries echoed through the room. Tom and Freddie raced to him, panicking. "Call for help," their father gasped, but little Tom didn't move. In his young mind, he truly believed he had superpowers, just like Kaleidoscope Man. He tried to lift the car with all his might, but he couldn't do it. His father died right there, right in front of both boys. Tom stands in the wreckage of that moment. Or maybe that's why Freddie never forgave him. Maybe that memory is the crack that never healed. Back on Earth, panic brews as people stare up at the sky. A gigantic object floats above the planet and no one knows what it is. Whispers swirl about government secrets and cover-ups. But the rumors explode into terrifying reality when astronauts from the International Space Station confirm it. A massive mothership is hovering in orbit. Then, without warning, night falls, and boom. A colossal explosion wipes out New York in a blinding flash. The shockwave spreads across North America and chaos erupts. Hundreds of smaller ships pour from the mothership like a swarm of angry bees, swarming cities and blasting the streets below. Explosions light up the skies while people run, scream, and vanish into the beams of light. The military fights back, but the ships don't stop. They keep capturing people, one after the other. In the middle of the destruction, Tom watches closely, and then something clicks. They're not killing, they're saving. These ships aren't attacking Earth, they're rescuing it. He scrambles to make a call and miraculously gets a signal. "Freddie, listen to me," Tom urges. "Let them take you." Even though years of silence stood between them, Freddie hears the conviction in his brother's voice and obeys. Tom finally sees it with brutal clarity. Humanity can't save itself. The ships aren't here to destroy. It's a salvation mission. But the people of Earth are terrified. Tom calls out to the sky, pleading with the ships. Tell them why. Help them understand. Because without answers, fear will always win. While the world crumbles, Mandy hides in silence, waiting, fearing. Then she dares to step outside and gasps. Tom's face fills a massive screen hanging in the sky, broadcasting to the entire planet. His voice trembles with urgency. He pleads with humanity. The ships aren't here to destroy us. They're here to save us. Slowly, hesitantly, people step out from hiding, looking to the sky and letting the light take them. Mandy, still shaken, heads to a small church where Father Robert stands before a small group of scared survivors. "Power and greed have brought us to the edge," he says passionately. "Unless we unite, the future is lost." The weight of his words pushes Mandy into motion. She walks to Rebecca's tomb, tears welling in her eyes. Her fingers brush the cold stone. Then her phone rings. It's Tom. His voice cracks, heavy with desperation. "Please, let them take you." Mandy looks up at the burning horizon. "The sun's rising, and an explosion's coming straight toward me," she whispers. Tom begins sobbing. "Look at the moon. I'm up here, watching. I love you, Mandy." His voice echoes across space. Mandy smiles softly, placing her hand on the grave. "I'm not alone," she says. "I'm with Rebecca." Then the explosion strikes. Flames sweep across the land, swallowing everything. Tom watches in stunned agony as the image of Earth dissolves before him and vanishes into silent, endless dark. Millions of people are rescued and transported aboard the colossal alien vessel. As they settle into this new reality, Sam turns to Tom with quiet wonder and says, "I think they're angels, watching over us until we find our new home." Tom nods, emotion in his eyes, and steps into his pod, ready for a new beginning. The ship hums to life, carrying them across galaxies in search of a second chance. In one of the glowing pods nearby, Mandy sleeps peacefully. She's alive, and with her, their unborn child. Hope has survived. The end. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like and subscribe for more epic breakdowns, and drop a comment telling us which movie you want us to cover next.